Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Leafy, aka Leafyishere, the YouTuber who had over 4 million subscribers and had himself and any trace of his existence on YouTube erased overnight. When I saw that Leafy's channel and all of his content had been suspended, I wanted to wait and see what YouTube's official statement was going to be on the matter and whether or not it was intentional or it could have possibly been a bot or an algorithm that banned him and it would have been a mistake, and in that case they could have reinstated his channel. The reason I'm covering this is because 1, YouTube is the home of all of my most important content. 2, it is very concerning when you see channels with over 4 million plus subscribers get deleted overnight. No copyright strikes, no warning, no communication, just boom, your channel is gone. Thirdly, and lastly, I don't think people are looking at this from an outside perspective, and the norm of what used to be acceptable content on YouTube is changing. So after the weekend following Leafy's ban, YouTube made an official statement to The Verge. We have strict policies that prohibit harassment on YouTube, and we remove content that violates our policies when flagged to our attention. Channels that repeatedly violate our policies will be terminated. And the spokesperson confirmed that the ban is permanent. I can see all the kids right now from the movie Sandlot in the treehouse right now, just mouthing over and over, forever. Okay, all jokes aside, this statement was made in 2019 when YouTube first rolled out their community guidelines for bullying and harassment. The policy has to be written in a way that creators can comment on each other and criticize one another. The question is, where do you draw the line? Where do they cross the line? When it's no longer just ideas, but they're criticizing them as a person. But before we shine some light onto the situation and controversy surrounding Leafyishere, I have to thank IntoTheAm for making this video possible. No joke, I have purchased hundreds of dollars worth of IntoTheAm shirts before they ever reached out to me for this opportunity. I wanted shirts with an athletic fit and feel, light, soft, breathable, and most importantly, a clean look. And I found that in their graphic and colored tees. Yeah, in case you guys haven't noticed, for the past 10 or so videos, I've been rocking IntoTheAm shirts. I love their style on all of their graphic tees, and the 60/40 cotton poly blended shirts are literally the most comfortable shirts I've ever owned. No joke, after I got my first 5 t-shirts, I ordered another 5 right away. I have the receipts to prove it. They're definitely my go-to. They don't shrink, they're soft, and they breathe really well. Click the link in the description below and use code BEAR to get 10% off of your IntoTheAm order today. Eventually, I'm gonna end up owning like all of their graphic tees. I would let these guys design my channel merch. That's how much I like their style. So thank you IntoTheAm for making this video possible. So my biggest issue with Leafy's termination is that there was zero warning. There were no copyright strikes. There was no email talking about somewhat controversial content. None of that. Your YouTube channel with 4 million plus subscribers and all of your videos gone. And this becomes even more concerning when you look at YouTube's guidelines for harassment and bullying, because they're really rounded, pretty much leaving it up to YouTube's discretion to determine whether or not your content is bullying or harassing or threatening another person. We have seen similar treatment to this like on Twitch with the most recent ban of Dr. Disrespect. He says that he got absolutely no warning, his channel was deleted overnight, he didn't get any communication before or after, and he says that he still does not know the specific reason or actions that led to his ban. Whether or not that is true, I cannot say. But that same slippery slope of we can overnight say that you violated certain guidelines that we will not allow on our platform and erase all of the hard work that you've put into building a channel on the YouTube platform. That is the major fear instilling factor and concern for content creators, and it should be a concern for viewers as well, because people value original content. People value honest opinions, and eliminating the raw truth and heart out of certain people's opinions is censorship. And for context, I want to read a couple comments surrounding Leafy's ban. Logan Paul shows a dead body on camera. YouTube, never saw it, 0 punishment. So Young tortures animals to death, literally on camera. No punishment. If Leafy got banned for bullying or harassment, then why is Drama Alert still around? They do this to Leafy out of nowhere, and yet problematic people like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Rice Gum, Nikado Avocado, Onision are still here. And the comments are never ending. Literally, the cancel culture is everywhere, talking about different atrocities that other channels didn't get canceled for. Anything and everything you do can be offensive to someone somewhere. But I want to take a step back and look at this from a wider angle, more so focusing on criticism of public figures. It doesn't matter if you're watching content based around politics or night shows or comedy, criticism of public figures is everywhere. And the level at which news stations, comedy, night shows, heck, even political-based content will go to slander and roast one another is everywhere, all over YouTube. So Leafy had just come back to YouTube after a long break, and he made a couple videos, you know, like I'm back, what's up guys, and then he dropped a content nuke on Pokimane. Pokimane is a very successful streamer on Twitch. I watched these videos because they were trending everywhere, and at the beginning of every Leafy video, he's got his little intro and it says, "This is all for entertainment purposes and not to seek out or harass anyone who is mentioned in the videos, please." When you have a 4 million plus subscriber channel, you cannot expect that to be followed by everyone. I will say that a lot of his content held some truth, talking about Twitch streamers that just sit there and eat and watch YouTube videos and talk about topics pertaining to YouTube videos and use that as their source of entertainment for their stream. And they're making money off of someone else's YouTube creation. This specific situation can be completely flip-flopped if we're talking about Twitch streamers who are awesome at playing video games and have some wicked good gameplay, and people are just sitting there waiting, capturing their content and trying to be the first ones to upload that Twitch streamer's original content that he may plan on making a YouTube video for himself the very next day. And now it's just been stolen. So that is definitely a double-edged sword. But very briefly on the topic of criticism or criticism of public figures, Leafy didn't care at all. I mean, at least it didn't seem like he cared at all. This guy had absolutely no filter. I think his audience really liked him because he didn't have any filter. It was completely uncensored content. You got exactly what Leafy was thinking and feeling, and however he wanted to express himself and rag on other creators or whoever he may be making the video about, you got exactly what Leafy was thinking. You got Leafy. So Leafy made his initial content nuke on Pokimane, which was absolutely brutal, and then continued to make 11 more videos about Pokimane, just ragging Pokimane. I don't care who you are or where you are, that is textbook harassment. I gotta say that I saw this coming. I was also really surprised to see ads running on his content nukes of Pokimane while they were still up, because this is content that has tons of cussing and is just generally not considered advertiser friendly, yet ads were running on these videos. And this topic also trickles down to the demonetization of people's content, because I could get demonetized and have ads not run on a video just for cussing in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the video, even mouthing cuss words. I can get demonetized for talking about politics or BLM movement or the current pandemic around the world. Literally all of these things, probably even talking about demonetization, can get me demonetized. And I do believe that this type of censorship is going to change the type of content that we see on YouTube, because no one's going to keep making videos that YouTube won't advertise on. Another tricky thing about YouTube is that all of their policies and guidelines are retroactive, meaning that I could have put out content 5 years ago that was completely acceptable on YouTube, and it will continue to make money on YouTube until YouTube drops a policy or a guideline saying that that content is no longer allowed. One big example that I gotta talk about would be that recent child protection advertising thing in which all of your content got demonetized. Literally, YouTubers with thousands of videos got all of their content demonetized until they step forward and say, okay, this is acceptable for kids, this is not acceptable for kids, because children were seeing advertisements that weren't really acceptable for children. It was definitely a big curveball for a lot of creators out there, because the content that used to be legal and acceptable by everyone had changed, and the law surrounding it had changed. And finally, I get to look at this from YouTube's perspective as a company. I see a lot of people saying that censorship is bad and that YouTube is out here violating our rights. And the truth of the matter is that YouTube in no way, shape, or form is violating anybody's rights. They are a private business out here building partnerships with content creators to place ads on their videos. At the end of the day, it's about money. This is a business and money has to be made, and they have to be able to place ads on your video in order to make money. And what has been deemed as advertisable has changed. So when we see this happen to massive content creators on YouTube just overnight, no communication, no copyright strikes, nothing, just erasing your entire channel, that creates some fear amongst content creators to make advertiser-friendly content instead of controversial content. And maybe that's not their passion. Maybe they want to do what YouTube was originally set out or advertised to be. YouTube, broadcast yourself. But now I guess it's more like YouTube, broadcast decency. if you want my 2 cents on it, in conclusion, I feel like Leafy was definitely deserving of some discipline, at the very least, like a strike for violating guidelines. I'm not saying like just a slap on the wrist, but like a, hey dude, we're not running any ads on any of those videos, and be careful what you make. Anything further past this and you're done. That type of communication, I think, would have curbed him a little bit as a creator to be maybe a little bit more respectful and think about not what he's saying, but how he's saying and presented it. But then that would have gone against who Leafy was as a creator and the type of content that he liked to create, and he would have no longer been broadcasting himself. But instead of Leafy is here, Leafy was here, and he's gone now. Please leave your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comment section below, whether or not you feel like this was handled properly, whether or not you feel like censorship is going to destroy original content on YouTube, or if this is a good thing that people are going to be forced to make more professional content and to be more professional in how they conduct themselves and present their arguments. Once again, thank you IntoTheAm for making this video possible. As celebration, I personally am going to be giving away 2 IntoTheAm shirts on our Instagram, which will be linked in the description below. This will happen over 2 posts, and the winners get to pick whatever shirt and size that they want off of the IntoTheAm site. So make sure you check out IntoTheAm, use code BEAR down in the description below, and get 10% off of your order today. Thank you all for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video and the honest content, then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. It is greatly appreciated. Notification squad, you guys are the goats. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Peace.